Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. In today's class, we'll be discussing about nomenclature of organic compound. In the previous video, we learned how to systematically classify an organic compound, which is depending upon two bases. One is about the basis of structure. If they have a cyclic structure, they are called cyclic hydrocarbon or a ring hydrocarbon or closed chain hydrocarbon. If they have if they don't have any cyclic structure, then they are called acyclic hydrocarbon. And further, we discussed about certain different classifications also. Now we'll discuss how to name that particular organic compound. So whenever you have to name an organic compound, you need to have certain set of rules, right? If a person from one country names a compound in a different type and the other person names it a different type, then what happens is it will be very difficult for someone of the neither of those countries to understand that particular compound. Let us say if a person from Russia says it as A and if a person from America says it as B, then the person from other country won't be easily understand the particular name of the particular structure. Therefore, organic compound had to be named in a specific manner. Hence, where a new council, that is of IUPAC council, gave a set of rules in order to name an organic compound, which has to be followed throughout the world. So this IUPAC is nothing but the IUPAC is nothing but International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry, gave certain amount of rules in order to name a particular organic compound. Before IUPAC came into existence, what scientists did was they named that specific organic compound based upon their origin or the place where it is synthesized, such as like that. Like for example, if you consider for citric acid was named because it is obtained by citrus fruits, like for example, oranges, tamarind, or lemon, lime, etc. So that citric acid component was synthesized from that particular substances. Therefore, it named as citric acid. Like similarly for formic acid, which was synthesized by extraction from red ants, where the red ants in Latina means formica. Similarly, when you compare for vinegar, in Latin vinegar means acetum, and therefore the acid which is found in vinegar is called the acetic acid. So there are certain different ways which were used to name an organic compound based on their origin or based from the compound which they are synthesized or based on the place where they are found, such as like that. Those particular names are called the trivial names, which is also called the common names. That means those names are quite common in that particular stage of area, but not common in all over the world. Therefore, common names were which were particularly for those compounds which are specifically synthesized in certain cases were of several kinds. Like for example, if you consider HCOOH, so this is called formic acid. This is called formic acid. If you consider for CH3Cl, this is called chloroform. And if you consider for CH3COOH, this was called acetic acid. And if you have C6H6, then it is named as benzene. And for C6H5NH2, it was named as aniline. C6H5OCH3 was named as anisole, etc. So we had certain different types of compounds which were named depending upon their classes of origin or based on the synthesized product. Therefore, the new rules of IUPAC stated that we have to follow certain criteria in order to name an organic compound, even though they have a functional group, even they do not have a functional group. So now, when IUPAC came into existence, when they gave away those certain rules, they made certain classification for certain compounds, and those which are based on the structure as it is. So if a compound is a straight chain compound, then it can be easily named by the respective number of carbon atoms present in it. if you have a branched chain compound, then you have to follow certain rules. And then if you have compounds with some functional groups, then you have to follow certain different type of rules. So first, we'll start with the basic one. That is, if you don't have any branches or functional group, that is for a straight chain organic compounds, which is also called the hydrocarbons. So that is nomenclature of straight chain hydrocarbon. Nomenclature of straight chain hydrocarbon. So if we have a hydrocarbon which does not have any substitutions present in it or any additional functional group present in it, then those hydrocarbons are called straight chain hydrocarbons. So these straight chain hydrocarbons were used to be given a suffix of three types. One is ane. There are three suffixes given for the straight chain hydrocarbon: ane, ene, and ine. Suffixes were given as ane, ene, and ine. But later what they did was, even though the double bond or triple bond, which is named as the suffix ene and ine, were also considered as substituents. Therefore, now at this particular point of explanations, we have just one type of straight chain hydrocarbon, those which have a suffix ene, which are called as alkanes. Okay, so the straight chain hydrocarbons in general are called as alkanes, and they don't have any double bond or triple bond or any branches or neither any functional groups present in it. So a straight chain hydrocarbon, which is also called as alkane, is named in two parts. First part is based on the number of carbon atoms present. The ALK here is denoting the number of carbon atoms present in the given straight chain hydrocarbon, and this ANE is the suffix given for that particular hydrocarbon. So now, how to name a particular hydrocarbon with certain number of carbon atoms? So a given set of carbon atom has a given set of names, like which are also called as the root words. So whenever you have to name a particular hydrocarbon of this particular number of carbons, then that particular number of carbon has a specific root word. Like for example, if you consider for a hydrocarbon which has just one carbon, then that one carbon hydrocarbon is called as methane, where if number of carbon atoms is number of carbon atom, if it is 1, so if your hydrocarbon has just one carbon atom, then that hydrocarbon will be given a prefix meth, which is called meth, and along with that a suffix ane. So totally it is named as methane. Okay, so this particular hydrocarbon has the formula CH4. It has a formula CH4. Now if you have a hydrocarbon with two carbon atoms present in it, then it is given a root word ETH and with the suffix ANE. So it is named as ethane, which has two carbon atoms, and the formula for this compound is C2H6. Okay. Similarly, if you have three carbon atom, it is given as a prefix prop and suffix ane, called as the propane, which has 3 carbon atom and 8 hydrogen atoms. So now if you have to write down this particular structure, CH4 can be written as like this: 4 hydrogen atom attached to carbon. If you have to write the structure for C2H6, 2 carbon atoms bonded with one another and each carrying 3 hydrogens. If you have to write the name for C3H8, so we have 3 carbon atoms, the terminal carbon atom carrying 3 hydrogen each, like this, and the non-terminal carbon atom carrying 2 hydrogens. Okay, so based on the number of carbon atom present, each of the hydrocarbon are given a specific root word, and that specific root word is suffixed by a ANE. Okay, so that is how we name a straight chain hydrocarbon. Now let us see different root words for different number of carbon atoms and their specific examples. So this is number of carbon atoms, their root word and the name, the example. Okay, so now if it has just one carbon atom, if a hydrocarbon has one carbon atom, root word for that compound is METH. It is given a suffix ane, so therefore the name of the compound is methane. Example CH4. Okay. Now if you consider for the carbon atom with two, root word eth, name ethane, name C2. Example C2H6. The compound structure formula is C2H6. Three carbon atoms, prop, name of the compound propane, structural formula C3H8. Four carbon atoms, but, name of the compound butane, example C4H10. Five carbon atoms, pent, name of the compound pentane, formula C5H12. Six carbon atom, root word hex, name of the compound hexane, so given by the formula C6H14. Next, seven carbon atom, hept, name of the compound heptane, formula C7H16. So similarly we had different types. For 8 it is oct, compound name is octane. 9 nonane, compound name is nonane. So C9H20. So these are the names for root words for nomenclating a straight chain hydrocarbon which has no double bond or triple bond or any functional group or any substitution. Okay, so this is about the nomenclature of straight chain hydrocarbon. Next, we'll discuss about nomenclature of branched chain hydrocarbons. So for branched chain hydrocarbons, what you have to do is, if you have multiple branched chain hydrocarbon, that means nothing but a single carbon atom or multiple carbon atoms will be attached to more than two carbon atoms. If you consider for straight chain hydrocarbon like such, so these carbon atoms are interconnected to two carbon atoms only. But in case of branched chain hydrocarbons, so one or two of the hydrocarbon will be attached to more than two carbon atoms. So if you consider these two examples, all these four carbon atoms are attached to either one or two carbon atom at most. But in this particular example, this carbon is attached to more than two carbon atoms. So that means this is attached to three carbons. This particularly results in branching. So whenever you observe certain types of branching in a hydrocarbon, then what we have to do is we need to consider the branched hydrocarbon with a prefix. Okay, the branched hydrocarbon is considered as a substituent and it is given a suitable prefix. So how to choose a particular carbon atom is a suffix or a root word? Is it to be considered as a prefix or is it to be considered as a root word? That depends upon the number of carbon atoms present in the parent chain. So what do you mean by a parent chain? The parent chain of an hydrocarbon is that chain of carbon skeleton which has more number of carbon atoms. If you consider this example 1, 2, 3, 4, this particular straight chain has 4 carbon atoms. If you consider for these three and this one, it is again has a 4 carbon atom. But if you consider these three carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, it has just 3 carbon atoms present in it. Therefore, whenever you consider for a parent chain, you need to consider that carbon skeleton which has more number of carbon atom as its respective parent chain. And that carbon atom which has a substituent in it is called as the substituted alkyl group. So instead of writing alkane as we written for the straight chain, now what we do is we write the substituent as a name of alkyl. Okay, so let us write down certain examples of this particular nomenclature. We'll get to know the complete structure of those or nomenclature of those compounds. Second is nomenclature of branched chain. Nomenclature of branched chain hydrocarbon. So let us take an example: CH3, CH2, CH, CH2, CH3. So we have one more CH3 group over here. Now if we calculate the number of carbon atoms, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If you write down this first structure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have two chains, one which carries 4 carbon atom, one which carries 5 carbon atom. So now first what we have to do is we need to consider that carbon chain with higher number of carbon atom. So this chain of carbon atom has more carbons, right? So therefore this particular CH3 group is to be considered as an substituent. For the number of carbon atoms present in the substituent, we have a specific prefix for them. Like for example, if it has one carbon atom, they are given the prefix methyl. If they have two carbon atoms, they are to be given the prefix ethyl. If they have three carbon atoms, they are to be given the prefix propyl, such as like this. Okay, so if you consider for this example, it has one CH3 group as a substituent. Therefore, this particular CH3 group is given a prefix methyl along with the straight chain nomenclature for this particular compound. If you consider here, there are 5 carbon atoms present. So 5 carbon atoms means pentane. So this particular compound is called methyl pentane. Okay, this particular compound is named as methyl pentane. Now if you consider for one more example, CH3, CH, CH, CH2, CH3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a CH3 group over here, CH2, CH3 group, and the second position. Now we need to calculate the number of carbon atoms for each chain. First, let us consider this particular chain. We have 3 carbon atoms in this chain, right? Next, we'll consider for this. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if you again consider this carbon atom, we have 5 carbons. Or if you're considering these 5, so again we have 5 carbon atom. If you go for this chain, we have again a 5 carbon atom. So whenever you take a particular compound, we are observing only two types of cases. It either has 3 carbon atom or it has a 5 carbon atom chain. Now clearly it is a 5 carbon atom chain which is to be considered as parent chain. So let us consider this itself. Okay, so let us consider this as our parent chain. So the parent chain has 5 carbon atom. Name of the compound will be pentane, but it has two substitution. One substitution with 1 carbon atom and another substitution with 2 carbon atoms. One substitution with 1 carbon atom and the other substitution is with 2 carbon atom. So for 1 carbon atom substituent, we have a prefix methyl, and 2 carbon atom species of substituent, we have a prefix ethyl. So this compound will be called as methyl ethyl pentane. Okay, so this is all about the nomenclature of branched chain hydrocarbon. So we have more about this, where we have to follow certain 6 to 7 rules when you have to name the branched chain compound, which we'll discuss about those in the next video. So this will be just basic relation of this, where you have to remember about the prefixes which you specifically give for those specific compounds. Okay. In the next video, we'll discuss more about the particular rules which are to be followed. Okay. Thank you for watching.